Another game that's been great for one of my teams, Syracuse, taking down number 6 Miami 42-38, and we knew it was going to be a shootout, and it absolutely lived up to it in the Dome. Let's talk about the highest grade player, starting off with the Syracuse Orange. Jackson Meeks with an 84 grade. Trevor Pena, 82.4. LaQuint Allen, 81.2. Safety Jaden Bellamy, 71.7. Defensive tackle Elijah Fuente-Cundiff, 69.3. And, of course, the highest grade player was Kyle McCord, 90.9 grade, who's living very well because Ohio State lost his former school to Michigan once again when he left there, and everyone thought it was his fault, and just took down Miami as well. So great day for Kyle McCord yesterday. Did you see the quote from him where he's like, everything comes full circle? After someone asked him about the Ohio State game, he's like, yeah, everything comes full circle.
Sure did.
So, yeah, Kyle McCord played great yesterday. Miami, their highest grade players. Wide receiver Xavier Restrepo, 78.7. Running back Damian Martinez, 78.5. Mark Fletcher Jr., 76.2. Francisco Malangoa, 75.5. CJ Clark, 72.6. And also, like Syracuse, the highest grade player was a quarterback in Cam Ward, 91.6 grade. Dalton, for you, what told the story in this shootout?
Okay, so this is about Miami's defense in the grand scheme of things here. They gave up all 42 of those points in the final 41 minutes of this game. And when you're looking at, I was a week or two ago, I was breaking down all of the playoff contenders, okay, and all their offensive and defensive metrics. And the one thing that kept popping up among the 16, 18 teams I was looking at was Miami had the worst defense out of all of them. It just was in several metrics, especially in a lot of pass defense metrics, and all came unglued in this game. 49.8 coverage grade as a team in this game, their worst of the season. Max, since week 4, 109th in the country in coverage grade.
Jeez.
It's just not. They allowed 11 explosive passes in this game. This was going to be the thing for Miami that was going to sink them, was their defense. And look, their pass rush, some guys were banged up. They got a big rotation of them. It had been kind of slowly deteriorating. The run defense was really good. You couldn't really run on them, but their pass defense slowly fell apart. We saw them give up a boatload of points in their ACC games, right? The Cal game, the Virginia Tech game, the Louisville game, this game. I mean, they just couldn't make stops through the air when it mattered most. And I know a lot of the controversy is about whether they should have gone for the touchdown instead of the field goal on their last drive to tie the game yesterday. Their defense, I don't think it would have mattered. I don't think they were getting to stop anything. Anyway, I think Kyle McCord would have marched down the field and got a game-winning field goal and won anyway, because that's just where this secondary was at. Let me throw this to you. In ACC play, right, I'm going to take all the ACC offenses against all the ACC defenses. They allowed the 4th most points. They allowed the 2nd highest percentage of touchdowns. All right, 33% of opponents' drives in ACC play went for touchdowns. That was better than only Stanford. Second most, they allowed the 2nd most yards after catch per attempt in the ACC, in ACC play. 13th among the 17 in coverage grade, 11th in pass rush grade. At the end of the day, this was not the pass defense that we thought it would be. I thought the secondary might struggle considering some of the pieces they lost on the back end last year, but the pass rush didn't help a whole lot either in recent weeks, and it all just completely fell apart. You cannot ask. And Cam Ward did it anyway. Graded, a 91 in this game?
Yeah.
Cam Ward did everything he possibly could have to carry this team to the playoff, and now, honestly, I don't think they're making it.
No, they're not.
And it's because of their defense. They don't have the resume to make it. They don't have enough big wins on this schedule. I get it. They got the big in-state win over Florida. That we were at the game when they went to Louisville and won, but there's not enough big wins here to make up for a loss to Georgia Tech and a loss to Syracuse. And I know Syracuse is 9-3, and they're pretty darn good, but this was about Miami's defense being their undoing. And now I really believe they're going to miss the playoff because of it.
And I think so too. And they can't even get an automatic qualifier because now with this loss, Clemson, even though they lost as well, we'll talk about that game later, Clemson's in the ACC title game now against SMU. Miami's out. So Miami cannot play another game until the playoff is announced, and I don't think they're getting in now. I'm with you. I do not think they're getting in.
I think they are the team, and there's been a lot of talk about cross resumes in the SEC and all that. I think they are the team that does, even at 10-2, does not have the resume of one of those other SEC teams.
Yeah, Alabama, South Carolina.
Either or.
Dude, and listen, they're not going to be up there. BYU even. BYU at 10-2 is a better resume than Miami at 10-2.
The idea of Miami being ranked that high and what the committee chair Ward Manuel even said was the offensive prowess. Well, that's great, but teams got to play defense too. They had offensive prowess in this game, but if you lose the game, you lose the game. It's about your whole football team, and you're seeing it. More balanced football teams are making the playoff, and Miami was not a balanced team.
Yeah, my stat that tells the story is basically the same thing. Both quarterbacks had a 90-plus passing grade in this shootout. Kyle McCord, 90.9 passing grade, 27 for 40 for 380 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 picks, average over 10 yards per attempt, 4 big-time throws, 2 turnover-worthy plays. And don't we said it, yeah, the pass rush from Miami hasn't been as good lately. His average time to throw was 2.17 seconds. He was getting rid of that football at lightning speed. So the Syracuse O-line, which has been all year, it didn't matter. You get rid of the football that quickly, it doesn't matter how bad your O-line is, honestly. So Kyle McCord, great job. And also Cam Ward, great job as well. Let's give him his flowers. 91.7 passing grade, 25 for 36 for 349 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, almost 10 yards per attempt as well. 2 big-time throws, 0 turnover-worthy plays. These two entered this game as the 2 leading passers in college football in terms of yardage. And it looked like it out there. They were just going throw for throw. It was an awesome, awesome game to watch between these two. Kyle McCord came out on top because the Miami defense just could not make plays. Well, Syracuse's defense did make some plays, right? The Xavier Streppel fumble, that was returned for a touchdown, but it was an awesome shootout between these two quarterbacks. I'm kind of had a feeling going into it, this would be a shootout because Syracuse's secondary, not that great. Miami's secondary, not that great. And 2 great quarterbacks and 2 great receiving cores going head-to-head. We knew it would be a shootout, and it was a shootout.
Did I hear something about the 21-point comeback being the biggest in school history?
Probably. Yeah.
I mean, that's the other thing too, is they were down 21-0 in this game. Miami
that's right.
It
looked quick.
20 minutes in, Miami was in complete control of the game, and McCord brought him back, and he's my most impressive. He has to be. I mean, you mentioned all the numbers in this game, in the clutch, bringing him back against one of the top teams in the country, and I just want to go for the season. Look, leads the nation in pass attempts. They leaned on him more than any other quarterback in the country. Most passing yards, most big-time throws, tied for 4th in touchdowns, 6th in overall with a 90.4 overall grade.
Hell yeah.
Think about that. By the PFF grading, he was the 6th best quarterback in the country this year. You know, I thought about this last night, and I think there's going to be a lot of debate. Look, Travis Hunter, Ashton Jeanty, Cam Ward are going to be 3 of the seats at the Heisman ceremony, right? Is it possible? Probably not, because it's not. But should it be Kyle McCord as the 4th one?
He's up there, but like they're going to give it to Dylan Gabriel.
I think he's at least in the top 6 of the Heisman.
Oh yeah,
between Gabriel and I think Shedeur Sanders, and then Kyle McCord.
He should get 10. He should get top 10 votes for sure. Yeah.
Syracuse won 9 games.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where we're at, and I mean, imagine what we might be saying had they beaten Stanford, right? I mean, that's a killer loss from earlier in the year. Then they'd be 10-2. The Pitt game, maybe they just weren't winning that game. But if you take out that Pitt game, Kyle McCord's just been spectacular all year. And I mean, I almost thought about him. Like, you look at the numbers, you look at him leading in yards, you look at him 4th in touchdowns, most big-time throws. I would honestly have him probably 5th or 6th in my Heisman.
Yeah. I think that's totally fair.
Heisman list right now.
That's totally fair.
I mean, it's just spectacular numbers, and to finish it with a win like this and a comeback like this is incredible.
Yeah, I unfortunately don't think he will be in New York for the Heisman ceremony, but he will. He should be a top 10 vote getter in terms of Heisman, I think.
Oh, easily.
Yeah, I think he should be. So, yeah, I'm with you there. He's been outstanding. My most impressive, Dalton, is Fran Brown. And I'll admit, firsthand, as a Syracuse alum, when they hired Fran Brown, I was like, I don't know about that. I don't know if I like that much. Obviously, Georgia defensive back coach, yes, he's an ace recruiter, and that really was what he was hired for. But I was like, he's never really been he was like a co-defensive coordinator at Temple for like 1 year or 2 years. He's never really been a real full-time coordinator, never been a head coach before either. It's a big jump from going from a position coach, even at Georgia, but a position coach to a head coach at the Power 4 level at Syracuse. I was wrong. I was dead wrong about Fran Brown, man. 9-3 record for Syracuse this year. Their best since 2017, my freshman year at Syracuse, the last time they had a record this good. Their first top 10 win since 2017, my freshman year, when I stormed the field against Clemson that year. And my family was there with me as well. Dude, he fixed the biggest issue with Syracuse football under Dino Babers: talent acquisition. Dino Babers and the coaching staff actually did a decent job at developing talent there. The problem was they didn't get talent there at all. They were horrible in recruiting. under Dino Babers. Last year, though, 37th best recruiting class in the country. This year, right now, 44th in America. Their last class, Dawn, that was as high as 37th or even 44th this year was back in 2007 when they were 43rd in America. So I could not even find the last time they were top 40 before that either. I don't think it's ever happened, honestly, where the top 40. So top 40 last year, top 45 this year. And not only that, recruiting-wise, high school, great. Number 9 in the transfer portal last year, according to On3. They brought in Kyle McCord. Kyle McCord, listen, he's not going to Dino Babers. Dino Babers is the head coach there. Kyle McCord's like, yeah, I'm not going there. Fran Brown goes there. He's like, no, I might go there. Former 5-star quarterback, former Ohio State starting quarterback Kyle McCord goes to Syracuse and leads the nation in passing yards. That is what's possible under a head coach like Fran Brown who can get talent in the freaking building. Dino Babers and past Syracuse coaches could not get talent into the building because I'll tell you firsthand, as someone who lived in Syracuse for 4 years, it's not very fun to live at. It's a cold city. It's a depressing city. It's not very. It's gray. The sun goes down in August. It doesn't come back up until May. It's not a very fun city to live in, and yet Fran Brown is convincing these high-profile names to not only come there out of high school, but to transfer there from big-time programs as well. I was dead freaking wrong on Fran Brown, man. I listened to Stanford loss. I was like, oh, maybe this won't work out. He just beat freaking Miami. He beat Miami, a top 10 team. Not only that, he killed the Hurricanes' playoff hopes as well. Firsthand, hand up, I was dead wrong on Fran Brown. I am all in on the Fran Brown era at Syracuse right now.
No, I'm with you. I think the big question going into next year is how do they replace McCord? But
yeah, they go in the portal again.
To get McCord in fresh and have him lead the nation in passing and get a win like this is incredible. So, no, props to Fran Brown and Syracuse, and we'll see if they get their 10th win in a bowl game.
That's right. They were 10-3 in 2017 as well, so if they can win their bowl game, they'll also finish at 10-3. So, yeah, hell of a win for Fran Brown and hell of a season for Fran Brown. He could shower as well, big time, because losers don't get showered, as his saying. So winners get washed. There's actually a T-shirt going around Syracuse. I actually might have to buy it. Winners get washed, and Fran Brown.
Don't bring that approach.
I'm not going to do that. But Fran Brown getting washed after that. And, dude, like I said, these first two games, big weekend for me because Penn State's going to the Big Ten title game. Syracuse beat a top 10 team in Miami. So hell of a weekend right there. Hey, thanks for watching another episode of the PFF College Football Show. Please make sure you guys subscribe to the channel.
Also, subscribe to PFF Plus at subscribe.pff.com for all of the same data and grades that we use in our show, plus fantasy tools, betting tools, and our mock draft simulator.